What is going on, clan? Today I'm going to show you a collectibles guide for the Final Fantasy VII Remake. Now this guide does have every single materia, weapon, armor, accessory, music disc, Johnny incident, and even the enemy skills all in one. So I've put it in convenient order for you. Without further ado, let's get started. And if you're new around here, alright guys, so the first collectible isn't actually until chapter 2. It's a healing materia that's given to you by Jesse as part of the story. I've put all of these collectibles in order from start to finish by chapter, so that way we can make sure we collect them all without you getting lost. I've got the chapters down below as well as what we're picking up, just so you can kind of see as we go. We're going to get the HP up materia next, and this is actually after you meet Aerith for the first time. And it's right next to this vehicle just by the bumper. After that, we're going to get the deadly dodge materia, and this is again after meeting Aerith. It's just down a different path near a car. And then we'll immediately go from this car to the left over here. And this is going to be for an armor piece, which is the power wrist guards. And it's in a chest behind this box here, right before you get to the market square. I'll also have timestamps in the comments below, so that way you can fast forward to any collectible that you may need to get. The next one is the iron bangle, and after you climb up on top of the roof from the market square, you'll go down a ladder, and then there'll be a chest with the iron bangle in it. Next up, we have our first piece of music. It's going to be Tifa's theme, and you can get this after you've spoken to Marlene. Just interact with the jukebox, and that'll unlock Tifa's theme. It also just gives you a bit of a tutorial that you can play different types of music on the jukebox. We're already into chapter 3, so that's great. We're going on to our next music disc, and if you go from 7th Heaven, which is the pub that you start in, and you go around the backside to the right, you'll see this gentleman back here who's got one of the most fierest tracks in this game. It's called Hip Hop de Chocobo, and it is awesome. And that's going to be after you've slept for the night, so that way you can proceed with the story as well. Yet another piece of music here. We have the shopkeeper, and he's got the prelude in his store for sale for 50 gil. So we're going to go ahead and grab that. But we're not going to leave it at just that. We'll go ahead and go to his materia tab. We'll buy the lightning materia, and we'll buy the ice materia. After that, you'll eventually come across a scene as part of the story where Tifa joins your party, and that's going to unlock the chakra materia. Next up, you'll have a quest where you go to sort of like a cave area in the Scrap Boulevard, and inside that cave is actually an ice materia that you can pick up. Alright, so as part of the story as well, you will be gifted an iron blade by the shopkeeper. So you can completely get that for free, which is always great.
Think about it. Fine. Or if you want to take a look at something else.
And it's also a trophy to learn all the weapon abilities as well, so that's why it's great to get all of the weapons unlocked so you don't have to worry about looking for them. Now here's the first time we meet Chadley. It is story related, and you'll get the assess materia. He's got a lot of materia that we get in general. You want to next complete all 6 side quests in chapter 3, and it's going to unlock those items there: the auto cure materia, the cleansing materia, fire materia, and that star bracelet. Once you've done their respective quests, you can actually go to the quest giver. For example, in this scenario, we have the item shopkeeper, and he can now sell the cleansing materia. So make sure you buy that. Okay, on one of your quests to kill the drakes in the factory, there's actually a gate you can lift up with a lever, and there will be a fire materia on the ground behind that gate. Okay, after you've done a few battle reports for Chadley, you will be able to unlock some new materia. And this one is for assessing 2 enemy types, and you're going to unlock the auto cure materia. Now next up we have the star bracelet, and that's for completing this quest where you kill a cerulean drake. Once you have defeated him, you can actually just fast travel right back to the quest giver, and you'll see that you obtain a star bracelet. Next, what you want to do is go to the weapons store. We're going to buy a few accessories, a total of 2,900 gil. And you just want to buy all 4 of them: the bulletproof vest, the earrings, the talisman, and the revival earrings. If you don't have enough money, you can sell some items, because honestly on your first playthrough on normal you won't need many of your items. After that, we can go to the Undercity Station area where we can get another music disc, and this is for Barrett's theme. You can pause the video at any time as well if you need to look at the map. That way we can make sure we're still going along, getting all the collectibles, and smashing it out. Once you have completed all 6 quests in Chapter 3, once you've completed all 6 quests in Chapter 3, you're going to unlock an Alone at Last discovery. You'll come back to your room, and this is where you can do a dress choice, which is required for all 9 dresses in the game. You need to choose exotic or sporty for the first playthrough, and then remember what choice you have chosen, so then you can do the exact opposite when you do chapter select. You want to leave the mature dress for Tifa for the hard mode playthrough. That's because you don't have to do any side quests, and it makes it much easier on you. So again, you can choose sporty or exotic. Just remember what choice you do so you can do the opposite in your next playthrough.
Something exotic?
I've done exotic, so when I do chapter select after the game, I will be doing sporty for my other option. And then mature, just always save it for hard mode. It just makes it much easier. After that, when you go downstairs, you can speak to Marl. She'll give you a crescent moon charm, which is another accessory for us to have. And then after that, as part of the main story, there's going to be our first Johnny incident or event. And you need to have all 5 of them to get the Johnny Experience trophy. So here's number 1 of 5. And then after that, we're going to go back into the 7th Heaven pub, play some darts, make sure you beat the high score, because then in Chapter 4, Wedge is going to give you a luck up materia, and you'll also get a trophy for being at the top of the leaderboards. The next one is a summon materia, and that's given to you by the story at the end of Chapter 3. And again, another materia given to you by Jesse. Okay, so at the start of Chapter 4, we have a revival materia, and it's just to the left here, and you saw it on the map as well, so if you need to, again, just pause and make sure you kind of know where you're at.
Without further ado,
again, you'll get barrier materia, and this is story related as well. That is going to be a very handy materia later on. So here is the part in Chapter 4 where Wedge actually gives you the luck up materia, and that's again for beating his high score in the darts. Now we're on to Chapter 5, and you're going to actually just go down the train past Barrett, and you'll see a materia on the bench there, and pick that up, and it's going to be another healing materia. Next up, we've got another accessory, and this is down in the tunnels, and it's a star pendant. If you go up the stairs over here and towards the back, you'll see a few rat enemies back here that you can kill that are guarding a chest. So quickly dispatch them, and then go ahead and open the chest to get the star pendant. As you can see, we're already on Chapter 5, so we're just blowing through it at this point. Alright, so further down the tunnel where you see that stamped graffiti, you can actually go down this hallway over here if you open the door. And in the back of the very end of the hall, in this room here, there's a chest with a leather bracer in there. And next up, we're going to have another music disc. This, you want to go up the stairs. You'll go through a few doors here until you hit a vending machine. And that vending machine is actually going to have the music disc that we need. So you'll come up to this turn and you actually just want to go straight. And you'll find the vending machine as well as a rest stop. Go ahead and use the vending machine and purchase disc number 28, which is stamp. Next up, we've got the lightning materia, which is just to the left of the vending machine, in between the lockers. Another handy materia for a lot of the machines that you fight in the game. Okay, so our next drop is actually off the boss. And when you fight Crab Warden, he will drop a pair of metal knuckles for Tifa. And then once we go down the lift, there'll be another vending machine. And you want to click buy, go to Materia, and then choose poison. This will be our first poison materia. And this is in chapter 6 when you're turning off the sun lamps. Next up, we've got materia MP up. And to do that, you need to go to this lift here. You need to lower it down all the way until it's at Cloud's level. And then he'll be able to grab it. So just lower it all the way as far as you can, and then you should be able to interact with it and pick it up. And then you want to go ahead and go back to the access panel, raise it back up to the level for the bridge or the platform, and then go ahead and go straight across. You go past a pillar, and then you'll find a elemental materia, which is a fantastic materia to have, so make sure you do not leave chapter 6 without it. Next up, we've got the mesmeric armlet, and that's near the sun lamp 3, and it's a piece of armor, so you want to make sure you go to the sun lamp 3 and open this chest. And then next up, we've got another music disc, and this one is for Electric de Chocobo. And instead of going onto the lift as part of the main story, if you go onto this platform here and bring it over, you'll see a ladder off in the distance. You're going to climb up that ladder and there'll be a vending machine. When you get up there, go ahead and buy the disc from the vending machine. It'll be 50 gil, and then we can proceed to the next collectible. Alright, so next up is going to be the Chocobo and Moogle summon materia. You have to defeat these enemies in this room within 1 minute. So when you go in here, quickly just defeat them as fast as you can. Make sure you're putting out as much damage as possible using all of your abilities as well as your teammates' abilities. And then you have to run over to this control panel before the time limit runs out, and then disable it. If you do fail, you can just hit retry and keep doing it until you get through and actually beat it. You'll then enter a giant fan type cylinder area, and at the very end there's actually a Chocobo and Moogle summon materia.
This is summoning material.
Wow.
What kind of badass will pop out of this one?
Chocobos are definitely badass. I'm gonna have to agree with Barrett on this one. You also pop a trophy here, which is always nice. And next up, as part of the story, you are going to get a light machine gun from Biggs.
Make sure everyone gets clear, okay?
And then we can move on to chapter 7 to get the bulletproof vest. This is actually before the Mako reactor core down below, as you can see. If you go to the left, there's a chest over here that has the accessory in it. Next up, we've got the lightning materia. This is on Mako Reactor 5, B7. It's in the corner of this room. Then we've got the Sonic Strikers. Again, Mako Reactor 5, but we're on B5. And you'll see a chest with sort of pink lights on it, and that's got our Sonic Strikers weapon in there for Tifa. Next up, we're going to get the Magic Up Materia, and this is done after unlocking the gate. You will do a bit of syncing with them both to progress in the story. However, there's another bonus lock. If you open that one, you will be able to get another Magic Up Materia. The easiest way to do this is just pay attention to Tifa. The moment her arms move, that's when you can respond and react to it. So make sure you're pressing the right direction, of course, as well. And then just pay attention to Tifa's arms, and the moment she starts moving, press the corresponding direction on the analog, and you will get it successfully. As you can see, it's very, very easy to do. You have to do it 4 times, and then it's going to unlock the gate.
Okay, final round. Don't lose focus. 3,
Figured I may as well show you the whole thing as well, just so you can kind of see. Right as Tifa's moving, that's when I'm moving my analog sticks to match her movement. And Magic Up Materia is pretty great, but I mainly liked it because of the trophy that we're going to get to pop, which is for opening that safe. You can also hold this switch here, and it's going to drop out a bunch of the items that you dispatched off of the airbuster. So you can always go in there and start looting a bunch of the items that you disabled. And there's our Magic Up Materia. Next up, we've got another music disc. This one's called Bombing Mission. And further in Chapter 7, you will see a vending machine and a rest point. Go ahead and open the vending machine up and buy the Bombing Mission music disc. There is a trophy for all music discs, so make sure you're collecting them all. And the next armor piece we have is a titanium bangle, which is given to you by the Airbuster boss fight. Now once you're in Chapter 8, starting off in the church, if you go downstairs after you've been pushed up top, you will be able to get a talisman accessory. And it's after the balcony breaks, just so you're aware. And then eventually Aerith will join your party and you'll unlock prayer and refocus. It's story related as well, so you don't have to worry about missing it. Next up, we've got another music disc. This is number 21, and it's in the vending machine near the station. It's still sort of in the beginning of Chapter 8, to be completely honest with you. Go into the vending machine and spend 50 gil on the theme. Now once you've done that, you're going to be able to get another piece of armor, and this one's obtained basically after you push the metal container. You'll come into this area here where you can kind of make your way across these monkey bars, and there's a chest hidden in this corner, and in that chest is going to be the Caligulus bracelet. Now we've made it into town on Chapter 8, and we're getting the next music disc. It's near the Leaf House. It's number 25, Tango of Tears, and you can get this one after you've delivered the flowers to the Leaf House as part of a story mission. Then from there we'll go to the Materia shop, and in the Materia shop he's got another music disc, and he's right near Chadley as well if you're having trouble finding the Materia shop. After you've done that, you can go ahead and go to Chadley. You have to complete Battle Intel 1 through 4, and once you've done that, you'll be able to buy the Wind, ATB Boost, and the First Strike Materia. First Strike Materia comes in handy quite a lot, to be honest. So you may see yourself leveling and using that at some point as well. So make sure you buy all of his materia. Make sure you're constantly paying attention to his battle intel as you play the game, because he does give you a lot of materia that is useful. Now, you may have also completed 6 through 9 while doing some side quests or even just focusing on them. And if you have done them, then go ahead and buy the Synergy, Steel, Provoke, and Steadfast block Materia. Don't worry too much if you haven't. There will be plenty of time to do Chadley's battle intel, and you can even do it via chapter select at the end, so there's no real rush. You can kind of go at your own pace. You can also get the summon materia, and that'll give you a trophy as well for slaying Shiva. So through the VR mission on Chadley's options, you can fight Shiva and yeah, get another summon for yourself. If you're struggling with her, you can come back to it later. Again, there's no rush with it. Next up, you just want to make sure you complete all 6 side quests in Chapter 8, because some of them do have items that will help towards our trophy progress. So just make sure you're doing all of the side quests on your first playthrough. We would want to also do the Whack-a-Box challenge to get the Crescent Moon Charm and the Spectral Cogwheel. You need to get above 30,000 points, which is pretty easy to do. And it's going to get you those 2 accessories as well as a trophy. The good thing about this minigame as well is if you need more Moogle medals, you can actually join the minigame, just stand there until it runs out of time, and as a participation award you will be given a Moogle medal. So if you're trying to buy all of this stuff out of this guy's store here, since his currency is only Moogle medals, you can actually just play the minigame and get the participation Moogle medals and then buy all of the stuff that you need from there. You can buy all of the manuscripts, everything to upgrade your weapon, so I definitely recommend it. Now we're going to get an MP up materia, and this is after talking to the flowers with Aerith. And then we're in chapter 9 now, and this is at the 2nd robotic arm. I've sped up the video just for your sanity. I've done this part way too many times. And all you have to do is set her up on the crate or the platform, and that's going to get you the binding materia.
Hold on a second.
So she'll be a minute, but she will grab you the binding materia. I've literally never used that materia, just so you're aware, but maybe you'd find a use for it. After that, you'll go further through the level and you will eventually see a vending machine off in the distance over here, as you can see on the map. And we're going to get another music disc, and this is for Cosmo Canyon. So another 50 gil, and that much closer to our music disc trophy. Alright, so next up we're at the 3rd robotic arm area. You want to pick up the crate and put it over on the ledge there, so that way Aerith can use it as a platform. And you definitely don't want to miss this materia because it is fantastic. Basically what Magnify does is you can use it, for example, with healing materia. You can link the 2 together and cast a cure ability, for example, and it'll heal everyone in the party and only spend the amount of mana for that one cast. So it's a beautiful, beautiful materia to have, and it's honestly just a lifesaver, so definitely grab that. Now we've got important choices coming up here, and you can select either she's in great shape or she's a great fighter, but do not select option 3. This is your first playthrough, so you want to make sure you're doing the decisions correctly. Again, you can do she's in great shape or she's a great fighter.
I'm not sure that helps.
And this is an option basically that's put in place for another dress. Now we're going to get our second Johnny experience. And this one he actually has a dialogue option that you need to select a yeah. So we'll go ahead and head down to Johnny. This will be our Johnny experience number 2. So 2 of 5 now.
To enter or not to enter, that is the question. Wherefore does this philosophical...
And once he's finally able to talk to you,
Totally get where I'm coming from, right?
he'll ask you a question and you just agree with him. Just say yeah.
I knew it.
A lot of these dialogue options we're doing is for side quests that basically give you a dress that we need to unlock. Next we have another important choice, and you need to choose how much and yes when you're inside the inn. So when you're outside the inn, you'll see this guy here, and he'll basically tell you to rent out a room, and you say how much. And then when you go inside, you'll speak to the innkeeper and you will say yes. All of these options will basically unlock a dress. And we need to unlock a total of 9 dresses, and you can only get 3 dresses per playthrough. But once you get chapter select, you can get them much easier. So don't worry too much about that, at least not at this stage. So go ahead and hit yes. You're going to stay the night at the inn.
Have a safe trip.
Alright guys, next up we have another music disc. It's for the Honeybee Inn, and it's located in the item shop. So we want to make sure we go in there, talk with the guy, and buy the Honeybee Inn music disc. I apologize if I sound a bit defeated. It is 4 a.m. and I'm not even halfway through this. Next up, you can have another VR mission with Chadley, and it's for Fat Chocobo to get him as a summon materia. He's a very easy fight, so you don't have to, try too hard, especially in comparison to Shiva. I also plan on having links that pop up in the top right on YouTube to direct you towards help videos for bosses or anything you may be stuck on. After you've done 11 through 14 battle intel, you can go ahead and buy some more materia. There's the Item Master, Parry, ATB Assist, and the ATB Stagger materia. So make sure you buy those if you can, if you've completed them. Again, if not, there's no urgency. Next we have a music disc. It's in the top left of the wall market with this cowgirl. And this one's called Farm Boy. So make sure you grab that. After you've grabbed that disc from her, you're just going to go down the stairs to your right, go down this alleyway, and at the very end there's going to be a barrier materia. So I basically plan to have videos linked up in the top right on YouTube. So for example, if you were struggling on the pull-ups trophy, then you can click the link in the top right and it'll bring you to my pull-ups trophy guide. That way if you get stuck at all, at least I can give you a bit of insight and you won't be stuck anymore, hopefully. Next up, we've got music disc number 8, and it's called Under the Rotting Pizza. Just interact with the jukebox and that track will be unlocked. Next up, we have another music disc we're going to grab. As you can see, where I'm at on the map is across from the gym. And you want to go in here to speak with the singer up on the stage. And it's going to be for disc number 29, the Midgar Blues.
Thank you. I signed with Shinger Records a while back, and I'm still looking for my first big hit.
Once he finally stops talking about how he's been unsuccessful at making a proper singing career, he'll give you the music disc. Now next up, it's right back on the opposite side of where we were just at. And in the bathroom of the gym, there is a headband. So make sure you grab that. It's in the chest inside the bathroom. Next up, we have a few more things we're going to buy from the weapon store. It's going to cost us 22,000 gil. So again, if you need to sell any items, feel free. Basically, you want to buy the hard edge weapon for Cloud, and then for accessories you want to buy the supernatural wrist guards, the survival vest, platinum earrings, and the time worn talisman. That will cost you 22,000 gil. As you can see, I am nearly broke from buying it, but you can sell a lot of your items that you don't need. You shouldn't need to sell much anyways at that point, so I wouldn't worry too much about it. Next up, we've got another important choice when you go back to Sam. He's going to basically ask you to choose heads or tails as he flips a coin. But for this instance, we are going to hit no deal.
No thanks.
Alright guys, so next up we'll be at Madam M's massage parlor. And we want to choose the poor man's course. So make sure you choose the third option. And after she gives you a hand massage, at least I think that's what was going on in there, you'll have a dialogue option about Aerith's outfit. And you just want to select It's Alright. And again, that's after the hand massage is when that appears.
Oh, you.
Been waiting for you.
Next up, we've unlocked the Colosseum. And you do unlock it after you've finished the story battle, and you can go back and start doing them. and you unlock some level 2 limit breaks, which is Ascension and Planet's Protection, but you also get an accessory as well. Okay, so now we're in the Sector 6 slums, and there's a chest in this building here that has a star pendant accessory in there. Alright, so next up we have the Materia and accessory. We've got Luck Up Materia and the Champion Belt, and this is for doing the squats. And you'll also unlock a trophy once you've mastered the squats. Squats are much easier than the pull-ups, just so you're aware. Now, from the choices that you've made, it's also going to unlock a new Johnny experience. This is going to be number 3 of 5, and it's going to unlock the side quest, The Party Never Stops. So just make sure you've actually done all of those choices that I presented to you, and if you didn't, load an autosave or a manual save and then make sure that you do. So that's our 3rd of 5 for the Johnny interactions. As you can see, the Party Never Stops just popped up in the top right near the map, and then Johnny appeared as well. Next up, we've got the Arcane Scepter. This is a weapon for Aerith, and it's after you do a Dynamite Body side quest, and Sam gives it to you as a reward. Next up, we've got another music disc, and this is for completing the practice dancing, and you need to basically have a great score in order to get the disc unlocked, and that'll get you the Let the Battles Begin remake disc. Now, once you're in the sex dungeon, or whatever you want to call it, there's a actual Don Corneo vending machine in the back that looks just like him. You can go ahead and go into that and buy the Dawn of the Slums music disc for 50 gil. And then next up, we've got a Fury Ring, and this is after you've got control of Aerith inside Corneo's mansion. It's when Aerith and Tifa are going to save Cloud. But you want to run downstairs first and get the accessory Fury Ring. Now we're in chapter 10, and we're going for this weapon that's right under this sewer's sluice gate. And there's going to be the feathered gloves inside of this purple chest. Next up is another music disc. This one is number 9. It's called The Oppressed, and it's from the vending machine down in the sewers. Next up is a poison materia, and this is in the sewers as well. And it's in the corner of this ledge. It's pretty hard to miss because you go down this path as part of the main story route. Then next up you have the warding materia, and if you see where I'm at on the map, you can just run to the very back and you'll see a blue warding materia. Next up, we've got the revival earrings. This is in the bottom right of this area, and it's just in the chest in the corner. Once you've grabbed that, we'll move forward. You can see on the map here, we're in the ghost area, and there's a mithril rod in a chest behind these metal shipment containers. Just pay attention to the map if you do get confused. And then not too far from where we just got that weapon for Aerith, you can go between these two trains and pick up an HP up materia. Alright, now we're going to get another armor piece, and this is the Gothic Bangle. When you're inside this sort of factory and you see the lift, if you go to the right of the lift and then down the stairs, there's going to be a chest towards the back, sort of near the wall. And that's going to have the Gothic Bangle inside. Okay, next up we have music disc number 6. And it's Let the Battles Begin. So it's the normal version that we got from the practice round of that dancing minigame. Make sure you go to the vending machine and buy that for the trophy. We need to collect all of them. Then next up you will get a subversion materia, and it's part of a boss fight. So he drops it from the actual boss. Now when you get to Eligor, who's the final boss in chapter 11, as you can see he has a stealable item. You want to equip one of your characters with steel, and then make sure you keep stealing from him until you get the bladed staff, and that's a staff for Aerith. After you've done that, we're on chapter 12. Now this is an armor piece magician's bracelet, and it's stolen from Reno. So just keep trying to steal from him until you get it. It's very RNG based. Sometimes I'd try about 6 times, I wouldn't get anything, and then I'd try it once and I'd get it. So just keep trying until you get the magician. Okay, after you've taken that from Reno, we'll have to start stealing from Rude, and he will give you a heavy duty bracer. So make sure you steal from Reno and Rude. Now we're on chapter 13. We're going to get the Sorcerer's Armlet. It's at the weapon store here. And it's 4,800 gils, so we'll go ahead and buy that. And then now, if you've completed any more of the battle intel, go ahead and turn them in and buy that materia. As you can see, we've just bought the enemy skill materia, which is going to be handy for the mimicry trophy, because there's 4 enemy skills that we need to learn, which are also conveniently in this guide. So if you're following the guide, you'll be able to get these skills from the enemies as well, without really having to worry or go out of your way for them. Next up in chapter 13, there's an accessory inside Aerith's house, and it's a mythical amulet, and it's upstairs in Aerith's room. After you've grabbed that, we're going to get a heavy duty bracer. Still chapter 13 is in the collapsed expressway. So you can go down this graffiti filled hallway and you'll find a chest. After that, we'll be in the Evergreen Park, and this is where we're going to get music disc number 15 from the item shop merchant. And then to the right of the item shop vendor, there's going to be the weapons vendor. And we're going to want to buy Big Bertha. Now this unlocks Maximum Fury for Barret, which is a fantastic ability. And it does quite a lot of damage as well. Either way, you want to get it for having all of the items. Next up, we're going to get the Healing Carcinet, and it's behind the rubble when you're playing as Barret in chapter 13. So break through the rubble with his gun, and then it's in the chest just behind that rubble. Alright, once that's been done, we have a few materia here that we can grab. And our first one is ice. You want to just shoot down the wall and you can go through. And then the next one is a warding materia, and it's sort of near the other one, but more so towards the left. So make sure you loot the warding materia as well. Next up, we've got another music disc. This one is number 14, the main theme of FF7. You get it from the vending machine. And then, as part of the story, you will fight this guy here, a failed experiment, and you're going to obtain the Mithril Claws, and it's a story-related boss drop. After you've done that, when you're back at Aerith's house in chapter 14, you can pick up the pedometer materia outside of the house, and if you walk 5,000 steps, that turns into an AP up materia, so you can level up your materia quicker. It levels it up ×2, so you get double the amount of AP. Now we're at the end of chapter 14, which was another long chapter. Go ahead and buy any materia from Chadley if you have any. Next up, we've got Phantom Bee. This is an enemy skill. It may take a while to actually learn the enemy skill, but just keep attacking until they use it on you. And if they don't use it on you before they die, go ahead and press options and then hit restart from checkpoint or restart from beginning of battle.
Thanks. So we're gonna head back to. Hey, Cloud.
Bunch of little
After you do this side quest, you'll get a time materia for finding the missing children. And then we're doing the other side quest, the Chocobo search. The first Chocobo is just right here where I showed you on the map. Okay, next up we want to look for the second Chocobo, and he's basically up from the station where that train was, and you just want to keep going all the way up to the left. Now we only have one Chocobo left to find, and then we'll have unlimited fast travel for free. But on our way to the third Chocobo, if you see where I'm at on the map, this is where we're at. You'll see these two guys here. This is to get the enemy skill self-destruct. So as you can see, I did a quick assess for you, and it says enemy skills can be learned from this monster. So he's got a self-destruct skill that we need to learn. Alright, so these guys will drop the self-destruct ability. And once they die, they actually blow up, and that's how it triggers. And if you're nearby and you get hit by it, then that'll give you the ability self-destruct. Now we can finally make our way to the third and final Chocobo. That'll complete the Chocobo search side quest, and then that'll give us unlimited fast travel and for free. Now we've got one part of Corneo's secret stash, and make sure you need to start the actual quest, which is outside of town at the crossroads here. I didn't have an actual proper clip of it, but it's this guy standing here at the crossroads. Make sure you speak with him to start Corneo's secret stash. Next up, we've got a weapon and accessory that has been added to the store. You want to buy the steel pincers and the enfeeblement ring. It's 8 Moogle medals, so if you need more, you can actually just sit in the mini game and get the participation ones. And that way you can unlock everything as well. Alright, so next we have the Whack-A-Box challenge. You have to do it on hard mode and score over 30,000 points. This will get you the accessories Crescent Moon Charm, as well as the transference module. And if you do get over the 30,000 points on hard mode, you will get the Whack-A-Box trophy for that one as well. Next up we have the music disc number 23. This one is the Descendant of Shinobi, and it's the guy that's next to Johnny at the train station. And if you talk to him, he's going to give you this music disc.
Screwed up an order of discs, sitting on a mountain of them now. Mind taking at least one off my hands?
Alright, once you've actually got the music disc from him, we can go and speak with Johnny. This is going to be the interaction with Johnny 4 out of 5. And it's going to also open up the Tomboy Bandit side quest.
I'm in serious need of your expertise.
And once we finish this side quest, that's actually the Johnny Experience trophy. So we'll have all 5 out of 5 interactions with Johnny completed. Now the side quest Tomboy Bandit, it's just to win a special match in Coliseum. And after you've done that, you can actually return to Kyrie. Now you want to pick up the medicinal flowers that are on the floor near the elderly lady there. We're going to get the chakra materia that's in the back room in the church. After that, we can go ahead and return to Johnny. This is going to pop the trophy if you've done all 5 of his interactions.
Bro, Tifa, keep on shining. Johnny out.
And he's going to leave town and run out of here, and that's when the Johnny Experience trophy will pop. So if you followed my guide, you should have got that one. Now we've got Corneo's Vault Part 1, and this is to get the Ruby Tiara. And this is located in the Sector 5 slums area. You'll find this gate with the sort of dragon icons on it. And there's a few things you want to loot in here as well. You want to loot the chest in the corner. You can loot everything, of course, but the ruby tiara is in the corner. And then you can go and get the circlet, which is near this tank. And then towards the entrance, there's a prayer materia, which may come in handy for you. Now we've got Corneo's Vault Part 2, and this is for the Diamond Tiara. And you'll see another one of those dragon gates. You can go ahead and open it. And then inside the chest, you will find the Diamond Tiara. Alright, so now we'll get another music disc, and this one's for Turk's theme. You want to talk to this old woman here.
When I was cleaning out my closet. Wanna take one off my hands?
And she'll give you the Turk's theme. Now again, when I open up the map, you can always pause the video so that way you can see it. I try not to drag it out too long, but long enough for you to pause it and see where I'm located. Okay, so nearby we're going to get the music disc number 24 for Wutai.
You look a bit tired yourself. Here, listen.
And he'll give you that one as well. Okay, next we have another music disc. This one is number 12 called Fight On. And it's actually in Wall Market inside the Coliseum. There's a merchant in there that you can go ahead and buy that from. Now that you've bought that, you can actually go into the Coliseum. You want to make sure you clear all of these Coliseum battles, as they'll come in handy towards the end of the game. But you definitely want to do this one as well for the Moogle's Amulet. But while you're there, please make sure you clear out all of the ones available. And then we can go to the weapon store and buy the Mithril Saber. The reason you want to do all the Coliseum battles as well is because later on you'll get an accessory that's really overpowered if you do all of the Coliseum battles and the Shinra battles. So just keep an eye on that and make sure you get them done. Now we've got the music disc number 16, which is Good Night Until Tomorrow. And this one's located inside the inn. And if you go inside the inn, there's a old man kind of creepily standing in the corner. Go ahead and speak with him and he will give you the music disc.
What's that? You want to get in on my flow?
Next up, we have yet another music disc, quite a few in this chapter. This one's called Stand Up, and it's in an alleyway that's nearby the Honeybee Inn entrance.
Hey, what's up, man? You vibing with this
Go ahead and speak with this woman here, and she will give you a copy. After that, right near the Honeybee Inn as well, if you turn the opposite direction of the Honeybee sign, you'll find an alleyway that is no longer blocked by people when you're in Chapter 14, and you can squeeze through this alley. Make your way down the alley to the end, and you'll see another chest, and that's where you'll get the Sorcerer's Armlet. Alright, so another summon materia that we're going for is Leviathan. Again, you can click the link in the top right for a guide on how to defeat him a bit easier if you're struggling.
Marvelous. Leviathan, the patron deity of Utah.
And once you have defeated him, Chadley here will give you the Leviathan materia. Alright, so next up we have the pull-ups challenge. And you can get the magic up materia and the champion belt. If you are struggling on this one, I have a trophy guide up for it specifically. And if you do use that guide, if you're still struggling with it, you can also look at my pinned comment below on that video, and I can help you further with that trophy if you do need it. You also get the Wavering Heart side quest in this area. Make sure you beat Jules, and if you did that as well, you'll earn the Purist of Pull-Ups trophy for beating Jules. Okay, so next up, we are going to do a side quest called The Power of Music. And to finish this one, you just need to use the following music discs: 12 for Fight On, 16 Good Night Until Tomorrow, and 30 Stand Up. They'll also be marked with a green exclamation, just so you know which ones they are. And once you've handed them all in, you'll complete the quest. Okay, so another one is going to be Malicious Goons side quest, given to you by Madam M. And it's on your way to Aerith's house where you fight Rude for the first time. And with the medicinal flowers, the Moogle mortar, and the behemoth horn, that's how you'll finish the secret medicine side quest, just to give you some tips. The medicinal flowers were the ones you picked up. The Moogle mortar can be bought from this guy here. And again, if you need Moogle medals, you can use the mini game, and then you get participation points just for sitting the timer out. Now, if you go down to the park, you'll get Subterranean Menace side quest, and that's for defeating the behemoth, which is where we get our behemoth horn for the other quests as well. Now, on that behemoth, if you assess him, you can see that you have an enchanted ring under the stealable items. So before you do defeat him, you want to make sure you just keep trying to steal from him until you finally get an enchanted ring. After you've done that, you can go ahead and burn the boss down and get him killed. And then you can return to the doctor to turn that quest in. And then you can go back to the main mission in Corneo's mansion.
Managed to get everything I needed? Thank you. This ought to be more than enough. Don't worry. I'll take it from here. You've done more than your fair share already. Here, take this. I'm betting it'll come in handy.
Alright, so next up in Corneo's mansion, we're going to get the otherworldly crystal, which is in Dawn's dungeon. So make your way through this room, all the way down the stairs to loot the chest, and that'll be the otherworldly crystal. Nearly done with chapter 14, guys, so hang in there. It's one of the longer ones. Now downstairs in, I guess what you could call Dawn's little sex dungeon type thing, there is a chakra materia sitting on this table. And then we are going for the next music disc, which is number 13, The Chase. And that's just bought from this vending machine here. Next up, we're going to grab a poison materia. And it's actually in the corner of this room here, just sort of hidden next to these pallets. And then after that, we'll go ahead and grab an accessory, which is the protective boots. And it's sort of on the way to the Corneo's vault. You'll see a chest sort of tucked away in the corner. After that, we're going to do Corneo's vault part 3. So before going up the ladder and following Leslie, you can run back. And you're going to get an enfeeblement ring inside the vault. So make your way all the way back just to sort of show you where it's at. You can use the map to guide yourself as well. Just a heads up, once you go down into the vault, you'll get jumped by 3 of those fish-scaled enemies that jump on you and things like that. So just be aware of that so you don't get gangbanged. And you'll get the enfeeblement ring from that chest on the left, and then the emerald tiara from the chest on the right. And that's also our final bit of loot for the Corneo's secret stash side quest.
It's not gonna be easy selling it.
Now, once you head out of the sewer after following Leslie, it's going to give you a fast travel option to go to Marl. And then after that, you can fast travel back to Wall Market. Next up, you want to make sure you buy any new materia from Chadley and then head towards the wall to progress the main mission. So any materia you do not have, make sure you buy it from him and get any battle intel that you may have completed turned in. So that way we can make sure you're progressing towards the other battle intel. And then you can head towards the wall straight from Chadley, which is just a bit past the Colosseum. There's this little alcove here that you can go down, and that'll take you to the wall. Thankfully the game's pretty linear, so you should be able to follow me pretty easy right here. And that's actually to the right is where you came up from the sewers, where the fast travel was, just right around here. and you'll find this on the ground next to this sort of tractor. Go ahead and pick that up, and if you follow my guide, the trophy Divine Gratitude will pop as well, and you'll get the elemental materia, which is fantastic to have multiple of that. Now before leaving chapter 14, just make sure you've completed all of the side quests, and then you can proceed to the next chapter. This is the point of no return, so just make sure you've done everything you need to do. Worst case scenario, there is chapter select at the end of the game, so it's not a huge concern, but it's better to just get it all knocked out while you're there. Alright, so now we're on to chapter 15. We're nearly done with the collectibles. We're going for another music disc. This is number 5, and it's called Lurking in the Darkness. We're nearly finished as well, guys. We only have 2 more chapters after this one, and they aren't very collectible heavy, so we're nearly at the end. Next up, you can get the Magician's Bracelet by using the grappling hook on the scaffold and looting the chest. Alright, so for our last collectible of the chapter, it's going to be for defeating the boss at the end of the chapter, and he'll drop the cog bangle for you. Now we're on to chapter 16. There's a few collectibles in this, but it's not too bad. Now once you've gained control of Tifa and you start doing this bit of parkour section, if you go across here, then you can go across the other bars towards the bottom of this platform, and you can see it off in the distance to your right. It's going to be a purple chest, and it's got the purple pain gauntlet, and these gauntlets are good to use for the trophy getting 300% for staggering the chocobo, the fat chocobo, and that's a very good gauntlet to do that trophy with. It makes it much easier, and I've got a guide for that one as well. So next up, we've got the Iron Maiden accessory, and before you go the main path when you're in the Shinra building, you want to actually use the key card that Tifa's stolen to go to the right. Behind the car here, you'll see the chest tucked away, and you'll get the armor piece Iron Maiden. Now next up, you're going to get the EKG cannon for Barrett, which is another one of his weapons. Now this will be when you speak to him the second time, because he's going to want to say he can give you more information for 10,000 gil. And he also gives you the EKG cannon. So again, make sure it's on the second interaction, because if you try to do it on the first one, he'll just keep repeating his dialogue.
How unfortunate. Perhaps this will help preserve our relationship. Huh? An expression of my gratitude and appreciation. That's
Okay, next up we've got the music disc number 31, Scarlet's Theme. And I've got great news for you. If you've been following my guide, then this is going to be your last music disc. So once you've collected that, you'll get the disc jockey trophy for getting all of the music within the game. And then you can go ahead and go to the item shop directly near the jukebox we were just at, and you can buy the geometric bracelet, the supreme bracer, and the rune armlet for 19,200 gil. You do have to buy the geometric bracelet, however the supreme bracer and rune armlet, those ones can actually be earned in the Shinra Combat Simulator if you didn't want to spend the gil. However, you have to do these anyways for all of the trophies, so you're better off just doing them. Make sure you do them all, because again, there's an accessory at the end of the game you want to be able to get. Next up, we're going to get an HP up materia. This is in the ventilation duct as part of the main story, but instead of going right towards the main mission marker, if you go left, you'll see the materia at the end near a fan. So make sure you grab that one before you proceed with the mission. Next up, we've got another accessory to gain, and this one is from the specimen boss. And as you can see, you can steal the time-worn talisman. So just keep trying to steal it until you get lucky enough to actually get it to work, and you'll get the time-worn talisman. That'll also be our last collectible for chapter 16, so we're on the final chapter. And starting right off the bat, you can get the reinforced staff in a chest in the room that you start out in. It's against the wall near Barrett. Okay, so next up we have the drum level 1, and this is going to be a poison materia just behind these pods. That's another poison materia for us, so make sure you grab that, and then we can go on to get another weapon for Cloud. This one's called the Twin Stinger, and you're basically going to find a chest near these stairs that you go up as part of the main story, and make sure you just loot that for the Twin Stinger. After that, we'll grab the Time Materia, which is on drum level 4. It's actually on the center console over here, and you'll see the green materia against a broken bridge. Now we've got another armor piece. This one is a Force Bracelet, and it's on drum level 6 when you're playing as Tifa and Aerith. If you actually open the gate right here, you will see a chest you can now access that was inside a container, and that'll get you the Force Bracelet. Now we'll get another armor piece on drum level 4. This is the Astral Cuff. You can go to the room on the right and down the corridor, and then make another right, and you'll find the chest hidden behind some boxes. Okay, once you've done that, this is on drum level 5. You will get a chain bangle, and when you go through this door here, it's actually hidden behind these crates, and that'll get you the chain bangle. And then you get another Force Bracelet, which is given to you by defeating the boss in that chapter. Then the boss after that, you will get another armor piece, and that's another Astral Cuff. You've now completed all the collectibles in the game. There's a link in the top right to my max level guide, and as you can see, this is a very efficient way to level. You can get max level within 25 minutes, and you can also start leveling your materia really easily to get you prepared for hard mode. And if you are going for the platinum, the next thing I recommend doing is the chapter select to get another 3 more dresses knocked out before your hard mode playthrough, after you've leveled up your materia and everything as well. So you can pause the video here and read my steps. And basically, once you've done that as well, just make sure you've done the Colosseum battles, because you want to make sure that those are unlocked to get that Gardamarung accessory that gives you a limit break at the start of battle. I probably pronounced that horribly wrong, but that's okay. Once you've done that, you can actually access Chapter 17's hard mode Shinra Battle Simulator, and you can fight the Marlboro, which will give you another enemy skill called Bad Breath. So if you have that equipped, that'll be your final one if you've been following the guide, and that'll pop the trophy. You'll also get another trophy for defeating the Marlboro. And then to get the actual accessory, you'll have to do every single Colosseum battle and every Shinra battle until you fight all 5 waves of these summons. You will need to beat Shiva, Fat Chocobo, Leviathan, Bahamut, and the Pride and Joy prototype in order to get the ultimate weapon trophy, but also to get this accessory, which is insanely great to have for your hard playthrough, and it'll make the bosses much easier. Now, aside from the miscellaneous trophies, the only thing left is your hard mode playthrough, and I'll have a full playlist of all the bosses, including my loadout and tricks to defeat those bosses if you're struggling, in the top right, so keep an eye out for that. The only other thing to focus on in your hard playthrough is the last 3 bridal dresses. You only have to do Chadley's quest, and then the rest of the side quests you want to completely skip. That's going to make sure that Tifa is automatically given the mature dress, and then you'll get the other 2 dresses that you're missing for Aerith and Cloud. Now, after you grab those last 3 dresses, the trophy will pop once Aerith is reunited with Cloud. We have now made it to the end of the collectibles guide. If it did help you out, please like and share the video. If you're not a member of the clan yet, think about subscribing and join today. And if you're one of my real ones who made it to the end, why don't you leave a comment below saying Master of Fate. Thank you guys. Catch you in the next one.